I'm Jennifer.
Standing in the middle of the once-planned wedding venue, I look around at the rows of empty chairs and the untouched white tablecloths. It's a far cry from the dream wedding I once envisioned. The air is thick with silence, and my heart, once full of hope, now beats with a strange sense of liberation. It all started 3 years ago when I met Ryan at a business networking event. He was 32, a successful stockbroker with a sharp mind and a charming smile. We hit it off immediately and quickly became the envy of our friends. I worked as a graphic designer at a small startup, and I was content with my career. Ryan proposed to me on a beautiful autumn evening by the lake. The ring was simple, but held so much promise. I imagined a future filled with love, laughter, and shared dreams. However, Ryan's parents, Mr. and Mrs. Thompson, were a different story. Mr. Thompson was a stern and wealthy man, used to getting his way. He had built his fortune in real estate and was very status conscious. Mrs. Thompson was a socialite who spent her days attending high-end parties. From the moment I met them, I felt their disapproving looks. At our first family dinner, Mrs. Thompson asked me, in a voice dripping with false sweetness, "What kind of work do you do, Jennifer? I mean, is it really stable?" I tried to explain my job, but her raised eyebrow and pursed lips said it all. Mr. Thompson, on the other hand, would go on and on about his business deals and the importance of making a lot of money. He'd look at me as if I was an outsider. Ryan always told me not to worry, that his parents would come around. I naively believed him, thinking that if I was kind and patient enough, they'd accept me. But as our engagement went on, the subtle insults continued. At a family gathering, Mrs. Thompson casually said, "Ryan needs a partner who can support his high-flying lifestyle. Do you think you can keep up, Jennifer?" I was left speechless. 3 weeks before the wedding, everything was almost ready. We had booked a beautiful vineyard as the venue, my dress was hanging in the closet, and the invitations were sent out. But then, on a sweltering Friday afternoon, Ryan called me. His voice was excited yet hurried. "Babe, my parents booked a weekend trip to Las Vegas for the whole family. It's just a quick getaway before the wedding. I'll be back on Sunday." I was hesitant, as we still had so many last-minute details to take care of. But Ryan was insistent, and I reluctantly agreed. The next morning, he left in a rush, with a quick peck on my cheek and a promise to call. As soon as he was out the door, I felt a sense of unease. Something just didn't feel right. On Saturday evening, my best friend, Lisa, who worked at a luxury hotel in Las Vegas, called me. "Jennifer, is Ryan supposed to be in Vegas with his family?" I sat up straight. "Yes, why?" She hesitated, then said, "I just saw him at the hotel lounge with his parents and a woman I've never seen before. She's young, about 23, with long black hair and a tight red dress. And his parents were acting like she's the future daughter-in-law." My world stopped. I felt like I'd been punched in the gut. I asked Lisa for more details, and she told me that Ryan and the woman were laughing and sitting very close. Mr. and Mrs. Thompson were introducing her to everyone. I couldn't just sit back and do nothing. The next morning, I hired a private investigator named Jake. I told him to follow Ryan and his family until they left Las Vegas. I didn't care about the cost. I needed to know the truth. By Sunday evening, Jake sent me a stack of photos. In the pictures, Ryan was with the woman, holding her hand and smiling. Mr. Thompson was raising a glass, and Mrs. Thompson had a satisfied look on her face. The woman's name was Ava, a model from Los Angeles. It was clear that this was no accident. It was a calculated plan to replace me. That night, when Ryan came home, I was waiting for him in the living room. My heart was cold. He walked in, avoiding my eyes. I asked him, "Good trip?" He was silent for a long time, and then he said, "I think we should postpone the wedding." I slid the folder of photos across the table to him. "Perfect, because I just got some interesting updates from your trip." He flipped through the photos, his eyes wide with shock. Just then, Lisa called again. "Jennifer, I heard Ava bragging at the bar. She said your future in Laws promised her a lot of money and a place in the family if she could make Ryan change his mind. I turned to Ryan and asked, "Did you know about this?" He opened his mouth, but no words came out. At that moment, Mr. and Mrs. Thompson walked in. Mrs. Thompson tried to play it off as a harmless meeting, but I wasn't having it. I confronted them about their plan to replace me. Mr. Thompson remained silent, looking at his phone, while Mrs. Thompson said, "We were just thinking about Ryan's future. He deserves someone better." I looked at Ryan and asked, "Do you think I'm not good enough?" His silence was my answer. I picked up the folder and said, "This wedding is over. I'm done with all of you." And with that, I walked out. I didn't stop there. I sent all the evidence to my friends and made sure it was spread around. The news of the Thompson family's attempt to swap brides spread like wildfire. Mr. Thompson's business partners started to question his ethics, and Mrs. Thompson's social circle began to distance themselves from her. Ava quickly realized that there was no future in the Thompson family and cut off all contact with Ryan. Ryan was left alone, spiraling into despair. A month later, Lisa and I threw a party to celebrate my new-found freedom. We were surrounded by our closest friends, and there was no pressure, no pretense. I wore a simple white dress, not a wedding dress, but a symbol of my new beginning. As I danced under the stars, I felt a weight lift off my shoulders. I had chosen myself over a love that was never truly mine. Now, as I stand here in the empty wedding venue, I know that sometimes loss is just the beginning of a better journey. I've learned to love myself and to never compromise myself, respect for anyone.